Come along with us today as we visit Animal Kingdom. We rope dropped and went straight to the Kilimanjaro Safari. Giraffes and all the elephants were not out today, and we also didn't get a good look at the lions. There are lots of other interesting animals to visit though. The end of the line was all the way back here, but it quickly moved. We only waited about 10 minutes.
A pair of okapi over there. Okapi are commonly mistaken to be related to the zebra because of their striped legs, but they are the only known relatives of the giraffe. They're going to have very similarly shaped skulls. Another thing the okapi is going to have in common with the giraffe is going to be the length of their tongue. An okapi's tongue is so long, they are able to lick the inside of their own ear and also their own eyeball. Only the male kudu will have horns. The male's horns can grow to be up to 6 feet long. Nile hippos can be well over 5,000 pounds. Just a little too large to swim. I think we're going to see some on the left here as well. Hippos are also pretty stinky animals. You might start to smell them. You might smell the hippos just a little bit as we're moving through the side. That is because Nile hippos will use their dung to mark their territory. So they will go to the bathroom in the water, fling their tails all around, which helps to spread their dung and their scent all throughout the water. As you may guess from this, hippos are also pretty territorial animals. They're going to use their really long, sharp teeth inside of their mouth, not for eating, because they are herbivores, but rather for defense and intimidation. You really, really don't want to mess with a hippo. Now, I'm thinking there may be an animal in the road a little further ahead of us. Their ears kind of press in close to their head so they don't have any open holes, and their nostrils will do the same thing. They'll kind of pinch closed, keep the water out of their face. You might be able to see occasionally when they come up to the surface, you'll see them kind of wiggle their ears back and forth. That's them opening up those ear flaps so they can hear things up above the water. And you'll see them blowing the air out of their nose, open up those nostrils. Same thing. Sounds like we're moving again, so we should be moving shortly. We'll see how long that takes. As you guys will see in just a few moments when we get into the wider areas of the reserve, these animals are pretty much free roaming. They can, for the most part, go where they want within reason, and sometimes this does mean moving in front of our trucks in the road. So we are at the mercy of the animals. Obviously, we can't keep going if there's a giraffe in our path, so we'll see what we can spot as we move forward a little bit. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's go. Before we head down that way, we are first going to talk about this great big tree to the right of us. That's called a baobab tree. Baobab trees get a couple different nicknames. One of them being the upside down tree, because they sort of look like they got their roots up in the air, but those are just their branches. But my favorite nickname of theirs is the tree of life, because they can hold thousands of gallons of water on the inside of their trunks, which can give drinking water to lots of animals. Wildebeest have been known to live in herds as large as 1.5 million. That is the largest herd ever recorded. Just past the wildebeest, there's also some Ankole cattle there. Those cattle with great big horns. The horns of the Ankole cattle can be around 6 to 8 feet long across. They look like they might weigh a ton, but they are mostly hollow on the inside. They'll have lots of blood vessels running all throughout, which helps to keep them cooled off. That's how they regulate their body temperature. It only takes a short amount of time from birth for a mother and baby zebra to memorize each other's stripe patterns, ensuring they are always able to pick each other out in a crowd, because every single zebra stripe pattern is unique, just like our fingerprints. Both males and females are going to have those great big horns, so that's not all males over there. I believe actually most of them are females. There's one male, I think, over there. Might catch a couple more wildebeest up on the right. But I think we might see some more stuff as soon as we come around this curve. There are some springbok at the very top of the hill on the right. It's going to be those really small light brown, black, and white antelopes that sit in the shadows. They're pretty small, typically only about 2 to 3-ish feet tall at the very most. But they get their name from their ability to spring forward up to 13 feet in one bound. That is roughly the width of this truck. So they are incredibly powerful antelope, especially despite their size. I think we may have spotted everything in this portion of the savannah. So we're going to keep on heading forward. There are some pretty large downed trees on either side of the road just up ahead here. Sometimes this could mean that there's a pretty big animal in the area. So we will see what we can spot. Here we go. You're going to see an African elephant coming up on the right. There we go. Now, I am pretty certain that is a male based off of two things. One, he is very large. Even by elephant standards, that's a big guy. And two, he does appear to be by himself. We'll talk about that more in just a second. Male elephants, they do tend to leave their mothers around their teenage years and then go off on their own. Whereas females typically will stay with their mothers in those same herds throughout their entire lives. So usually anytime you see an elephant by themselves like that, most likely it is going to be a male. An interesting thing that elephants are afraid of is going to be bees. Even the sound of bees freaks elephants out. So farmers in Africa figured out if they started lining their crops with beehives, this would reduce the amount of trampling that those elephants were doing. So the farmers stayed happier because they got to keep and sell more of their crops, and even got to sell the honey from the beehives. And the elephants stayed a lot safer because they were standing further away from people. This is called the Elephants and Bees Project, one of many projects funded by the Disney Conservation Fund, a fund that Disney has set up to give grant money to conservation organizations all around the world. Can be up to 5,000 pounds versus the 3,000 of the black rhino. I think we're going to see some more on the right as well. Let's see. White rhinos don't get their name from their coloring at all. It's rather a mishearing of an Afrikaans word, weit, meaning wide, talking about their wider upper lip. Now, I do want to direct your attention to their tusks. You'll notice they're pretty small. They're not the big curved ones we're more used to seeing. That's because these are 3 females. These are 3 ladies. The males are going to have the much larger, showier tusks, but those little ones work just as well for that defense and intimidation. This here is about all the bigger they get. They are just as cute as they are useful. They can produce a sweet and nutritious milk. Just a little bit more nutritious than cow's milk. A boxbuck is a type of antelope that lives in Africa. There is a picture of one on the animal spotting guide above your head. They're coming towards the bottom corners, around 5 animals in. Around 100 years ago, there was only 17 boxbuck left in the whole world. So, one farmer in Africa decided they were going to fence off their land, keeping all of those antelope safe inside. So that's today. Their population went from just 17 to no longer being considered a critically endangered species. Today their population is somewhere in the 3,000s and still growing and still being protected. This is one of my very favorite stories because it shows the impact one person can make on the world around them. Of course, we don't all have to save an endangered species to make a difference in the world. For instance, one challenge I like to leave my safari goers with is when you go back home, simply tell one member of your family one of your friends one cool thing you learned or saw while you were in the park today. Because the more we learn about animals, the more we like them, and the more we want to protect them. And we want to create a whole bunch of people all around the world who love and protect animals. Our safari will be coming to a close, but we do not like to say goodbye here. It is far too sad and far too final. So instead, what we like to say is Kwaherini, which means go well. So my friends, I invite you to go well, go wild, go have a great rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and go out and make a difference. My name has been Morgan. I hope you guys have enjoyed your safari today. Alright.